The Cursed Swan. Part 3. A Flight Against Fate. Elena should have been afraid. A cursed prince, a sorceress powerful enough to bind a man to feathers and silence, a journey into the unknown. But she wasn't afraid. She was determined, because something in Aldric's silver eyes told her that he had spent years fighting this battle alone, and she refused to let him do so any longer. They left Lake Evendell at sunset. Aldric walked beside her, barefoot and silent, his silver hair catching the last rays of daylight. Elena had questions, so many questions, but she could see the tension in his jaw, the quiet exhaustion he tried to hide. So she waited. They traveled deep into the Eldorian forest, where the trees whispered secrets to the wind. Fireflies blinked between the branches, and the scent of wildflowers filled the cool night air. At last, Aldric spoke. "She will not break the curse willingly." Elena turned to him. "Morwenna?" He nodded. "She does not undo what she has done. She believes fate is a river that should never be turned." Elena frowned. "And what do you believe?" Aldric's silver eyes gleamed in the darkness. "I believe rivers can be damned." By midnight, they reached the edge of the sorceress's domain. Elena felt the change immediately. The air thickened, laced with unseen magic. The trees bent in unnatural ways, their shadows stretching long and thin. Aldric stopped. "She knows we are coming." Elena swallowed hard. "Then we should move quickly." Aldric hesitated. Then, slowly, he reached for her hand. Elena stilled. His touch was warm, despite the cold air, strong, yet careful. "Stay close," he said softly. "The forest will try to turn you around." Elena nodded, tightening her grip, and together they stepped into the unknown. The forest was alive. Branches moved when they shouldn't. Footsteps echoed where no one walked. Strange whispers curled through the air, soft and familiar. Then, a voice. "Elena!" She froze. Aldric's fingers tightened around hers. The voice came again, gentle, beckoning. "Elena, my sweet girl, come home." Her breath caught. That voice, it was her mother's. Elena's chest ached. Her mother had died years ago. This wasn't possible. She took a step forward, but Aldric pulled her back. "Elena!" His voice was steady, grounding. "It's not real." Elena's pulse pounded. The voice was so perfect, so heartbreakingly familiar. But Aldric's hand was real. His warmth, his steadiness. She looked up at him, and for the first time, she saw something in his gaze that had nothing to do with curses or fate. It was trust. He trusted her to stay. So she did. She exhaled sharply, squeezing his hand. "Let's go." Aldric's expression softened, and together they walked deeper into the forest. By the time they reached the ruins of Morwenna's tower, dawn was approaching. Aldric's steps slowed. Elena turned to him. "What's wrong?" He swallowed. "I don't know what she will ask of me." Elena frowned. "Ask of you?" Aldric's jaw tightened. "Curses are not broken without cost." A chill ran through Elena's bones. Then, before she could speak, the doors of the ruined tower creaked open, and from the darkness, a woman stepped forward. Her raven-black hair spilled down her back, her emerald cloak shifting with the wind. Her piercing gaze locked onto Aldric. "Well," Morwenna murmured, "look what the tide has brought back to me." To be continued?